How's that for a party trick? What is up, fellow Tenno, and what you saw right there was my Ashe Prime, Stun Wraith and Distressor weapon combo. A quick heads up before we get on to the video, Hydroid Prime is here. You can get his parts along with the Nami Scala Prime and the Ballistica Prime parts from all the new relics. Now the best way I'd say about getting these new relics is probably to get them from the syndicates. I've been saving up a lot of syndicate points just for this, and I've managed to get all of my Hydroid parts just from the relics I got from the syndicates. RNG be praised. Love him or hate him, Hydroid Prime is here, so happy farming, Tenno. So as you might have guessed from what you saw in the video, the combo setup I showed you is very powerful. This combo setup uses quite a few interesting mechanics in Warframe to our advantage to maximize killing potential. We're using the Warframe Ashe, the Stun Wraith as a shotgun, and the Distressor. The Accelerator Prime is just here, it's not essential for this build in any way. Before we get into the nitty gritty of how this build works, I think it's best you see how a Distressor performs with the standard melee build, and how it performs with the same mod set as we're using in the combo, but without the Stun Wraith. So this right here is your standard melee build for the Distressor. We're using the Valpine Mask stance, we're using corrosive and heat damage. The Life Strike is just on there because I like Life Strike. Berserker is there to add attack speed, Drifting Contact to increase the combo duration. It's just there, the status chance part of it is not really important, it's just there because I don't have space and I'm too lazy. Blood Rush and Pressure Point. Now as the melee combo counter goes up, Blood Rush will add critical chance and of course normal Pressure Point, which we have on every melee build to add damage. Taking this up versus the Bombard, you'll see that it takes quite a few hits to actually kill him, because there's no real elemental damage bonus from the corrosive damage. What's really taking him apart are the slash procs. This is a special attribute of the Valpine Mask stance. See, the Distressor only has 5% crit chance, but the Valpine Mask stance has a guaranteed slash proc on the very first 2 hits of its combo. We leave the Bombard for a little while and you'll see that the slash procs will eventually take him down. Next up, we have the build that we'll be using for this combo. This build, like the last one, has the Pressure Point, Blood Rush, it has combo duration with body count, but it has Relentless Combination, which will give an additional combo tick with every slash proc. It also has Life Strike because personal preference, and most importantly, Condition Overload, which will give you 60% melee damage for each status type affecting your target. We also have Berserker for attack speed and Organ Shatter to increase the critical damage that we'll be dealing. Now as we take this up against the same level 120 Bombard, you'll notice a couple of things. Firstly, the combo counter is increasing extremely rapidly. Secondly, the Bombard is dying much faster. This is because Condition Overload is adding extra damage, Relentless Combination is increasing the combo counter, adding even more damage, which means the Bombard gets very dead very fast. It's important to note that as we have the combo multiplier increasing, the critical chance also increases on the weapon, which is another source of damage. So overall, this mod setup on the Distressor is extremely powerful as it is. How do we take it further? By maximizing the potential of Condition Overload, by really overloading our target with as many status types as humanly possible. The best candidates for this are shotguns which can achieve the magical 100% status chance mark. For those of you who don't know, once a shotgun hits 100% status, this means that every single pellet it fires in a shot will proc its own status effect. There are a few shotguns which can do this, namely the Stun Wraith, the Tigris Prime, and the Bronco Prime and the Boar Prime. My preferred shotgun for this setup is the Stun Wraith. I find it works best for this setup compared to the other shotguns, and I'll explain why. A lot of you might be thinking about the Tigris Prime. The problem with the Tigris Prime is you don't have to use the Distressor for that, you can just shoot someone with the Tigris Prime and they'll be dead anyways. However, the most important reason is that the Tigris Prime, the Bronco Prime and the Boar Prime all have a 30% status chance. This means that to get 100% status, you'll have to use 4 dual stat mods. Why is this a bad thing? Well, this setup mainly uses slash procs to deal damage, and slash procs will be much more effective if your target's health is halved, which is why we prioritize having viral on this build. The problem is if you use 4 dual stat mods, you have to have radiation and viral. Now radiation is a very good damage type, The problem is that you're using it on a melee build. I did use the Warframe to test this, thinking that the radiation proc will stop ancient healer auras and will make it generally much easier for me to deal with enemies. Which actually did happen. The radiation proc spread around, the ancient healers got confused. The problem was, the moment I tried to kill the ancient healer, I'm immediately hit by bombard rockets, heavy gunner fire, because enemies are attacking that irradiated target. This generally wouldn't be a problem after all, crowd control is crowd control. But since this is a melee build, you're going to have to be close up to that enemy to kill him. And the moment you try to kill an enemy which is irradiated, that bombard rocket is gonna end your sorry existence. Because the stun rate has a 40% status chance, however, it can achieve 100% status chance with just 3 dual stat mods, which means I can have either viral and electric damage or viral and heat damage. Now, although the stun rate is my preferred weapon to apply multiple status effects, it is possible to use other weapons like the Prisma Grakata, which have fast fire rates and a fairly high status chance. But whether you're using the stun rate or the Prisma Grakata or any other weapon for this role, what's important to note is that you should keep your damage types as evenly distributed as possible. This is important because if you have one damage type much higher than the others, you're going to be proccing that damage type a majority of the time, which means that sometimes you may be missing out on proccing some of the other damage types. Condition overload increases your damage depending on the number of status types affecting your target, which means the more status types you have affecting it, the more damage it's going to deal. So those are the reasons that we use the Distressor and the stun rate. So why is Ashe important in this? Well, it's for his invisibility and his special passive ability which is called Hemorrhage. Ashe's smokescreen makes him invisible and gets all his melee attacks the stealth multiply, which greatly multiplies the damage he deals with his melee weapons. In addition to this, his passive ability Hemorrhage increases the damage and the duration of slash procs, which makes him extremely deadly for this build. Alternatively, you could use a Sarin with her Toxic Lash ability, which will spread even more status effects onto the enemies and further multiply her damage. There are a lot of powerful weapon builds out there, but the reason I like this one is because it's a perfect balance of both fun and power. You can't just go around flailing your melee weapon around like a madman. You actually have to pick and choose your targets, think of which ones you're going to shoot, prioritize them, and take them out as quick as possible. Now, I'm not a player who's really into endgame long duration survivals and defenses like some players are, but I did go and test this out on mod and I survived for around 55 minutes with no problems at all. The only reason I had to leave that was because my Prisma Grakata, which I had picked for that mission, did not have an ammo mutation mod equipped and it ran out of ammo completely. Why I feel this setup would work extremely well for long duration survivals and solo survivals is because it actually needs a very short engagement time per enemy. You just have to shoot them, hit them once with the Distressor, and then let the slash procs do their work. In that time you can go and hit another enemy and another and another, and by the time you're done with them, that first enemy is already dead. So there you have it guys, that right there is my one-hit wonder weapon combo. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. You can check out my other videos on the console casual. You can leave me your thoughts with a comment down there in the comment section below. This is me signing off, and stay casual.